Okay, so I'm David Taffel, CEO of Portofino Resources. We, like JP and his crew, are also in Argentina, in Catamarca province. In fact, we're neighbors, and quite a bit of what JP has said could apply to our projects as well. We're certainly within our focus is on the lithium brines within the lithium triangle, again focused on Argentina. We have three groups of properties. Our main property is the Hombre de Muerto property, which JP has talked about to some degree already. We're neighbors of his. We also have a second property, the Rio Grande property, Rio Grande Sur. It's about 8,500 hectares in size. And what we call Project 2 is actually our third property. It's just a little bit farther south. We'll talk about all three of these in a second. Hombre de Muerto, we have done a sampling program on two of our claim areas. We did that earlier this year. Without going into too much detail on the location, I think JP's already covered some of that. We are in the same salar as FMC, as Galaxy. POSCO is now there. Again, this is proven production and development areas. Very high grades, low magnesium ratios. And that was some of those grades were proven on our property earlier this year. We did a sampling program, surface sampling to date, all just about a meter to a meter and a half in depth at the deepest manual hand auger, and highest grade results are about 1,000 ppms. We averaged probably 400 to 500 at least over the 13 to 14 samples that we took. So consistent with, if not higher grade than what FMC is producing right now. Our second property, the Rio Grande Sur, we also did a sampling program earlier this year, not quite as high grade as the Hombre de Muerto. It's a bit more buried, but quite a large property. And from the work that we did, our results, highest grade was a little over 200 ppms, 220 or so. But what was interesting is that our geologists have indicated and discovered that this is probably one of the main sources for lithium and lithium concentrations. We are at the south end in the Catamarca province, the south end of the salar. To the north of us, LSC. It's a fairly large exploration company based in Canada. They're developing the Rio Grande Salar. That's right now got a resource of about 2 million tons. So if all goes well, perhaps we can prove up as much or more where we're located in the Rio Grande Sur also. Our number 2 project, which is the third one we're talking about here, a little bit farther south, just in the area of the neolithium. Neolithium's at feasibility study stage, very close to the Chile border. We're right across the border. Wealth Minerals has a project that they're developing, as does Bering Resources, and a consortium of companies in the Maricunda project. It's at feasibility study stage as well. So quite high grade, despite the fact they're in Chile, we're in Argentina. Geology remains the same. In fact, we think that there are some advantages to being in Argentina versus Chile on the political side. But this is a fairly large salar. We own, or we have the right to earn, 85% interest. The claim block covers 100% of this salar, and it's about 3,900 hectares in size. In 2012, the concession owners did a sampling program. Their results indicated that their grades are in the 300 ppms or so, lithium. Good grades at surface, at least as high as many of the grades that Neolithium came up with in their original surface sampling program in some of their areas. And as Neo drilled to depth, those grades went up. We've done a little bit of sampling since the 2012, and our results have come back very consistent with the 2012. So we think we've got a third project here that is as good, if not better, than the first two that we're working on. Our leadership team, we've got a group within our management group that was involved in developing from scratch a nickel project in the Philippines. That went to a market cap of about 500 million. We were selling product into China and Japan. One of our directors, Steve Wilkinson, was also the president of Northern Orion, and Northern Orion developed a base metal project also in Catamarca province, which was taken over by Yamana for 800 million. So we've got a group on the ground as well in Buenos Aires, but our kind of Canadian North American group has had a lot of experience both on the geological side as well as on the financing and development project side. On the ground, our managing director, Sebastian Cataneo, is involved with us in another project that another company, a fertilizer company that we brought into production, and he's led us to many of the concession owners and the projects that we have put into Portofino. Share structure, we're, as someone said today, I guess a nano cap. I'd like to refer to it as a micro cap, but I guess we're nano cap these days. Many of our peers have come down in value as we have. We've got about 50 million shares outstanding. From a peer perspective and a comparable, this is something we sort of like to show. It's from a coming into the market or looking at undervalued exploration companies. We're certainly very undervalued relative to our peers, our Australian and Canadian explorers that are within Argentina in the lithium space. Average market caps about 10, 12, 13 million. We're about 2. However, the average of the kind of next level up, the advanced explorers, those that are in feasibility study, advanced exploration, etc., which is where we hope to go fairly shortly. Roadmap we hope to follow are probably averaging 120 million, and that's down 60-80% from where it was about 6 or 8 months ago. So many of these companies were just in the embryo stages just 2, 3, 4 years ago. The values in the lithium space are able to be created pretty quickly. We think that we can go from a nano cap here with some results to at least a micro cap or a step up from that fairly shortly. We have next steps for us are drill programs. We've got a couple of drill programs planned for this fall, as well as some additional geophysical work, and we'll expect that those will bring us in line with the value of some of our peers and certainly hopefully beyond that. From a location perspective, certainly we're located, as JP pointed out quite well, in elephant country, proven resources, economic projects that are in production and are developing. So we're quite positive about the future. Thank you.